my name is Laerke and my pronouns are she, her. So this is a big question to ask, but how can the world realize its full potential? Today we have a tendency of focusing a lot on our individual selves, our lives, and we have this sort of coaching culture, personal development, where a lot of people might say, this is how you reach your full potential as an individual. But, and this is a big but, not everyone has access to the same opportunities, which makes it hard for everyone to realize their full potentials. And a lot of this has to do with inequalities. Inequalities may look very different in how you face barriers in your life, and the same goes with privileges. You may have access to more opportunities than someone else. And it can be really hard to determine which is which, depending on who you are. Like for instance, I have access to some opportunities, but I also face barriers in some ways. And this is just mapping out the privileges you have, but just because you have these privileges, it doesn't mean that you have access to all opportunities. And it very much also depends on the country that you're from. It depends a lot on your upbringing. It depends on the people you surround yourself with. It depends on so many factors, some of which are inside of your control and some of which are outside of your control, that if you have access to resources where you can, maybe you have a tough upbringing, if you have access to resources where you can work on this, then maybe you will eventually be able to reach your full potential. But a lot of people don't have access to, for instance, therapy or other kinds of resources that may make them move forward towards reaching their full potential. So, as I said, this has to do with inequalities that may look differently depending on who we are. So, let me ask the question again. How can the world realize its full potential? And it's a complicated question, because if the problem is that inequalities are holding people back, then in order for everyone to realize their full potential, we'll have to get rid of inequalities. And that is a lot easier said than done. In some ways, we may be moving in the right direction, but in other ways, we are moving backwards. It very much depends on which factors you look at, and which country you look at, and etc. So really just saying this, not everyone is able to reach their full potential unless we get rid of inequalities. I'm pretty sure it was Albert Einstein that said that the cure for cancer, or else it was someone else, that the cure for cancer may be inside the brain of a poor person. And this is very much true, because getting access to education is a massive privilege, and it creates so many opportunities for our lives moving forward. This also means that giving more people equal access to education free education, critical thinking, giving them the proper skills to navigate not only their lives but also giving them the knowledge that they might need to create a career for themselves and the skills to do that, no matter what kind of career path it is. So this is very much a tangible way that the world would be able to realize its full potential. Equal access to education. And of course, as individuals, it's not that easy to take action on this matter, but it's also not impossible. It could be supporting NGOs that give access to education. It could be educating others around you with the things that you know. Yeah, I mean, everything makes a difference. It may not change the world completely, but if enough of us are do just small things, then eventually big changes will happen. So, free education, equal access to education could be a way for the world to reach its full potential. Because a lot of what also is holding people back, if we talk about stereotypes, discrimination, these things are more prevalent in people that have certain educational levels that may not be critical thinking skills in terms of pointing your finger outwards towards a group that is different from yours, or being fed with these very narrow views of norms and how the world is or should be. So this is also a way that education would be able to make everyone reach their full potentials. Of course, it's not the only solution. This is a very complex problem, but it is a suggestion. And with that, I just want to send you peace and love.